All right. Peace, 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 family. This is Darnell Gabriel from Revolutionary Sword. Peace and blessings from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm grateful to be here. I got a little time before it hits 5 o'clock. So we're gonna talk about my um, traffic court case that I've been dealing with since June. Basically a little bit longer than June, actually starting in March, but it's been dragged out since June all the way to January. So um, the court case is closed now. Court case is closed now, but uh, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. I'll come back and I'm just going to play a little music for right now. Okay, be right back.
Gutter Free Music Zone.
Getting twisted, that's how it goes.
100% positive hip hop and R&B. Brought to you by GutterFreeHipHop.com.
You crazy for this one.
Yes, man. You out here. Yeah. This for the ones in the trenches. I'm coming to get you. I had to stack up a ticket. Opposition just saying that I went missing, but I was just really out handling business. Ooh, young big dog from the south side, lifting up the name of Jesus, having all up in your speakers. Yeah, I'm on the go, me and my toes, staying way down in the field. I need to know if any of you feel how I feel. The thief only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I need my soldiers loading the clip, so get ready for war. Me and the gang stay ready for action, calling that name with a passion. They gave him 32 lashes, then gambled over his fabric. As the will of God would have it, he came up out of that grave. Now, new life tripping on me. Tell me, where's your stay? Devil thought he had me, then I scared. 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 Yeah, hey. Ain't no weapon formed against me gonna prosper. Plenty of angels round me backing like some mobsters. Holy Spirit, give me the power to call him Father. Abba, yeah. What can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Right. We got it packed up in pints. The blood gave me new life. I shrug over the stripe. Yeah. All this glory on me been approved by the one on top. I ain't holding nothing back. I'ma give it everything I got. That's on God. Hey, ready or not, we coming in with the rock. Yeah. Hey, gang on go, and you know we ain't never gonna stop. No. I'm headed to Jesus' house, ain't taking no easy routes. No. Don't care what you speaking about, show me what your team about. Y'all out here chasing the clout, the industry full of clowns. Better watch what you say at your mouth, cause me and my gang will come shut you right down. Hey, I am not one of these Christian rappers that you used to. I will come through and get you fixed like a loose screw. Devil thought he had me, then I 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 screw. Yeah. Hey, ain't no weapon formed against me gonna prosper. Plenty angels round me packing like some mobsters. Holy Spirit, give me the power to call him Father. Abba, yeah. What can
All right. I'm gonna stop it right there. So I don't want to waste a whole lot of time. Let me just get this up out of here. And Stop that. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen. Share my screen to this. Okay. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. And even though I know right now I'm the only one on the live, but I know eventually people are going to see this video. And I hope when you listen to this video, that you get something out of it. And then also I would like to hear, some of you all's advice on how I could have did better. Right. But, I'm on my journey and I'm learning. This is my first time ever being, consistently engaged in, court like that. Before I turned in my driver's license, actually canceled it and canceled all registrations with the state of Illinois. That was a new level of experience for me. And before I did all that, I had a perfect driver record. You know what I mean? I've been driving for years, and shoot, I didn't even have to go to the DMV to what you call, I guess, renew the driver's license. Right? They would send me out a letter congratulating me on my driving record, so on and so forth. And then all I had to do was just, renew my driver's license, Viva, computer or mail. But when I started learning about traveling and commerce, being labeled as a driver, I had to start educating myself. And I did. I started educating myself. So this has been a almost 4 year journey of learning. But last year, I ran into a traffic stop that kind of made me had to, go to court. And even though I learned, even with the notice that they sent out the first time, that I didn't even have to answer it, because once you answer it, then that kind of locks you into a back and forth with them. But nevertheless, I was willing to go through the process, because it's a learning experience for me as far as like engaging a judge or city lawyers or clerks about, the difference between traveling and driving, right? So it was a long process, and it would irritate me. It would irritate me because I didn't sent all these affidavits in to the clerk of court, also sent it in by registered mail. And these people want to act like you ain't sent them nothing. But the bottom line is I did what I needed to do to put my stuff on the record, right? And so therefore I never was worried about, me, getting arrested or anything like that. Like right now, I'm still traveling. No problem, right? I didn't learn so much in the course of the a year. I know how to remove my address off of my old driver's license. So these people don't know how to even, find my address anymore. But the bottom line is that everything is a contract, and you just have to learn how to, put things on the record to let them know that I'm not in contract with you anymore. And so I'm going to, play this video, and hopefully you get something out of it. And if you got any critiques, I'm open for critiques. I'm open to learn more. And if you got videos that you would like to share to me, concerning court cases that people had to engage about, traveling and, driving, so on and so forth, share it with me, and I'll take a look at it. But I'm always open to learn. I'm always willing to listen, right? Okay. But without further ado, I'm going to play this traffic stop video, and then I'll come back and make a few more comments And that'll be that. And then, hopefully you all that are listening out there will leave a comment concerning the video. All right. All right. Hold on one second.
Okay, let's see, Mr. Darnell Gilliard. Are you by your phone, Mr. Gilliard?
Hello.
Hi there, sir. Mr. Gilliard, your ticket number is TV 569-934 through 935. Wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. I'm addressing another matter. Mr. Gilliard, your officer is in court on an allegation about your registration and insurance. I'm just looking through the history of this. Okay, this is scheduled, well, let's see. Okay. Mr. Gilliard, do you have that registration document with you?
Okay, Judge, before I proceed, I'd like to let you know that I'm doing this by special appearance, and I do not consent to any of these proceedings for the record.
Yes. All right, Mr. Gilliard, I know we're going to have a bit of a longer conversation, so let me take care of just a couple other matters. Let me write back to you so we can have that longer conversation. Okay, Mr. Gilliard? Hold on. Jose, Jonathan Jones, you think? Yeah, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to have Officer Doherty have a chat message with the city attorney, because Mr. Gilliard has been waiting a long time. So have that chat message to get that information so you can prep for that trial, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I hope you have a wonderful day and week.
Thank you. Yeah, be safe in the field. Okay, Mr. Gillard, okay. So, sir, we have a compliance issue of registration of your vehicle and a compliance issue of your insurance for the vehicle. Those are the only two things that are pending. I do notice, sir, that you were not in court on October 10th, and you were not in court on November 20th. And on November 20th, there was a failure to appear order. If two such orders are entered like that, your driving license, the license from the state of Illinois, can be suspended. So I'm really glad to see you in court today. And I am willing to vacate that failure to appear order on your behalf. Now, let's see if we can address your compliance issues. We just want to see that the vehicle is registered and that you have insurance for the vehicle.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
I can, thank you.
Okay, I need to make a statement before, you start asking me questions, because I want to make sure all my rights are reserved under common law without recourse. I'm a living person. I'm not a fictitious entity created by God. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, 1 Corinthians 7:22. I'm a slave to God and Christ. So I would just want to make that clear. So my thing is this. You just made a statement that my license could be suspended. Whoever that officer is, I don't know his name. And that ticket that you got in front of you, whatever little chicken scratch that he got on there, what's his name? I'd like to know his name for the record.
So you can see it on your screen. It's Police Officer Ruiz, and his star number is 18887. And that information is on your ticket as well.
Yeah, you can't read it though, because the yellow copy only has his signature, court date, and there is nothing else on that document. Now, what I believe is that they went and rewrote and put it on a ticket and gave it to the courts. That's what I believe, because there's nothing on this copy that demonstrate that they printed exactly what was on that ticket. And the license that you are referring to had been canceled, revoked by me since 2020.
So, sir, you don't have it. Let me be clear. You don't have a ticket that is making any allegation about your driving license privileges. What I was referencing was that if anybody fails to come to court multiple times, then their license can be suspended from not coming to court.
So what am I doing here for then?
So we don't have to worry about that.
Okay, so why am I here?
Erasing that failure to appear order from before.
I don't, but see, ma'am, you keep saying like appear. I do not appear. I'm here by special appearance because you are trying to label me as a corporate fiction that works for the state. That name is a part of that name is a trustee of a living trust. Okay, I have filed numerous affidavits to explain my position. You all don't want to acknowledge it. That's fine. But for the record, that name is a family name. Everything is not what you call legally binding to me. Okay, it's not. You can't just say that's me. That's hearsay. That's hearsay.
I'm asking you, the person that's on the Zoom in the black shirt and the black hat, the person that has the screen name of Darnell Gilliard written in to his Zoom. So there's a representation from this person on the Zoom with the name of Darnell Gilliard. Gill.
That's still hearsay.
Huh?
I'm here by special appearance. I'm here by special appearance. I use that name when I need to use that name because I got power of attorney over that name to make financial decisions. So
sir, let's move past that for a second. Would you like to tell me about the registration of the 2006 Jeep? Is that Jeep registered with the state of Illinois?
No, that Jeep is not registered with the state of Illinois. That Jeep is registered to the Department of Transportation. It has a DOT number, and that Jeep is in a trust.
Great.
So I don't even own the Jeep.
Sure, perfect. That's great. That's great information. Can you show me that, please?
I sent all that paperwork in.
Where?
You get it on the record. I know you do.
Sir.
No, go back. You can go back all the way to June. All that stuff is on the record. I do not have to repeat myself. I do not have to continue to send documents.
It's interesting, sir, because the record shows that on May 6th, nobody came to court for this matter, and on June 20th, nobody came.
I never got a notice for May 6th.
Sir, I would love to see what you would like to show me, okay?
It's already on the record. It's already on the record. It's tons of affidavits that's sent to the clerk as well as to the court of records. I mean, I'm assuming this is a court of records. So it's all been sent in. Everything has been sent in June, July, August, September. The issue is you all want to keep marking me absent because I'm not that name. I am a living human being.
Well, sir, here's the thing. The person, Darnell Gilliard, if that person is not in court today, there's going to be an order of a failure to appear, and the person's driver's license will be suspended. If you're telling me that you're Darnell Gilliard, fabulous. I see that on your screen.
That's for just legal purposes. That's not me.
Well, then can you tell Darnell Gilliard that his license is going to be suspended because he's not in court today?
Can you send that in writing?
No, I will be to the Secretary of State. The failure to appear order will go to the Secretary of State, and it will be automatic that Darnell Gilliard, if that person is not in court today, will have that person's driving privileges revoked. If we want to do that, we can.
I don't understand how
I'd
you.
love to address your matter here today.
It's something that
The only thing I need to see is that the vehicle is registered with the Secretary of State
which is not
in
everything.
anybody's name.
Everything is on record. Everything is on record already,
Great, then that should be pretty easy to show me today.
ma'am. All you all are you all a court of records?
Sir, we are the Circuit Court of Cook County.
Does that mean that you're a court of records?
We are the Circuit Court of Cook County Traffic Division. And I would just love to see that this vehicle is registered with the state of Illinois and that this vehicle has insurance. And if we can see those things, then possibly.
I'm gonna say this.
it should be dismissed.
I'm gonna say this one more time for the record. That automobile is in a trust. It's not registered to the state of Illinois.
No.
I don't own that. I do not own that automobile. It's owned by a trust. All those documents are sent to your traffic court division. I have been sending that paperwork since June, July, August. So there's no reason.
So, sir, I don't have any of the documents here.
Okay.
Let me ask you, what was the manner in which you sent them in?
Ma'am, I sent it all by email, and I sent it by registered mail. Your clerk actually gave me how to put it on the record. Your clerk did that. I spoke to a clerk manager directly.
Okay.
So there's no reason for you all not to have that information.
So I love what you're saying, and you can probably understand that in a court of law, I would love to see proof. Okay, so I'm going to turn.
You have proof.
Well, it might be pretty easy if you had those documents to mail in.
That's already
Just
been.
have them in front of you.
Ma'am, you keep repeating yourself, and I keep saying.
I know, I do, because if you're right and you mailed them in, something has happened. If you have them in front of you, then we can get past that problem and I can just see them now. Can I see them now?
I don't need to do that because you already have it on the record. All you got to do is go to your clerk and ask them, can I have the information on this gentleman? You said earlier that you needed to get the people out because you saw that me and you was going to have a longer conversation. And it's obvious to me that you understand the position that I have placed on the record. So we just going in circles right now. All we doing is going in circles.
Sir, I'm trying to ask the clerk who's sitting here, who's filling in and helping me out. We're checking the computer record because the paper record in front of me does not have that. I'm checking the computer record, Mr. Gilliard. You have anything in the computer record that he submitted something? Okay, Mr. Gilliard, there's nothing in the computer system. So now we're at a point where you've told me you've done something and you want me to accept your representation, but I don't have any of those documents in the computer record or in the hard file record. You'd like me to take your representation. I have a hard time doing that.
If that's something, I don't know if this is what he's referring to. I don't know.
Okay. Hold on.
I don't know if that's what he's referring to.
Is that the only page you have?
Yes.
Okay, sir, what we have found is a November 13th filing that indicates a number for a revocable trust. So I do see that, and that you filed it on November, that's either a 1/8 or a 1/3, it's hard to read. What I would like to see, that is just referencing a revocable living trust. My next question is about the vehicle. And you said that vehicle, can you print out that page, please, ma'am? Because I want to attach it to this hard copy. So I make sure that Mr. Gilliard's document is with the hard copy. Mr. Gilliard, that's talking about making a representation about a trust number. Now I'd like to see that this 2006 Jeep is registered to that trust with the Secretary of State. You're saying that that trust owns the vehicle?
That's correct.
Okay. So do you have that registration from the Secretary of State?
Okay. Can you tell your clerk
Yeah.
to go back to August, which is 8/27/2024? You will see a streamline of documents. A streamline of documents.
August 24th. Hold on.
Also, I want actually to go to the actual month of also July. And July actually has the certificate of title.
So title is nice, but that's not really the issue. I mean, we do like to know who owns the vehicle, but the key thing is that the vehicle is registered with the Secretary of State.
And once again, you know, which I said earlier, that automobile is not registered to the Secretary of State because I don't want to contract. I mean, I do have the freedom whether I want to contract with the state or not, correct?
Well, sort of, but it means you get a ticket, so you're gonna have to.
How can you ticket somebody that's
You
not?
have that freedom.
Okay, well, how do you ticket somebody that's not in commerce?
The commerce is not necessary for this moving violation ticket. It doesn't matter why you're moving. You could be going to see your mom. You don't have to be in commerce at all to receive a ticket.
Ma'am, that don't make sense because see, I know for a fact that a driver is a person that's in commerce, period. That's the definition of driver.
Well, sir, I'm a judge, and I'm telling you as a fact that anytime anybody moves a vehicle on the roads of Chicago for any reason whatsoever, to go see their mom, to go to a religious ceremony, to do anything, that vehicle needs to be registered with the Secretary of State and needs to have insurance on it.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's the definition of a driver?
A person moving a vehicle.
Ma'am.
Operated by someone, right? So someone must be.
That's not the definition of a driver, ma'am.
In fact, even if the vehicle is owned by Susie Jones and Bob Smith drives it, Bob Smith can get a ticket, even if the vehicle is owned by somebody else. So, Mr. Gilliard, you have indicated to me that your vehicle is not registered with the Secretary of State. We have the officer in court. We can have the conviction entered today. It's a small amount. Or the city attorney might make you an offer to plead a lesser amount on one of these 2 tickets. Would you like to hear that offer?
I don't consent to any offer.
Okay, you don't want to accept an offer in court that you do not have your vehicle, the 2006 red Jeep, registered with the state of Illinois. Is it insured, sir?
Show me a federal law that an automobile that's not registered to the state have to be insured.
So, sir, this is a state law. That's why you are in state court.
Federal law trumps state law.
Section, no, sir.
Yes, it does.
Section 3707. Mr. Gilliard, this Illinois state.
That's hearsay, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. You keep calling me by that name, but that's hearsay.
Okay, then we're going to go back to the position that if you're not Darnell Gilliard, then I am going to enter a failure to appear order, and Darnell Gilliard's Secretary of State driving privileges will be revoked. Okay, so.
And that would be sent, that would be given in writing, correct?
Yes, my order will be sent in writing to the Secretary of State, and then the Secretary of State will send a written notification to Darnell Gilliard that Darnell Gilliard's driving privileges are revoked because that person is not in court today. It'll be in writing to Darnell Gilliard.
Okay.
Is that how? Okay. If that's how you wish to proceed, so we'll enter defendant not in court, person on Zoom denied he was Darnell Gilliard. So Darnell Gilliard not in court. Failure to appear order ×2. Driving privileges from the Secretary of State will be revoked. Okay, sir, if you know that person, let them know. And for that person.
That person is dead, ma'am. Can I say something?
If pulled over in the future, they might be subject to being held in jail for the night and could have a misdemeanor charge against them for driving on a revoked license.
May I say something?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, I'm not a driver. Okay. And I'm not operating in commercial capacity. I have freedom of movement according to this Illinois Constitution even says that. The Bill of Rights say you got freedom of movement. That automobile is owned by a trust. It's consumer goods. So the state do not have rights over consumer goods.
Okay, Mr. Gilliard, I heard you, and you heard me. We're gonna finish on this note with the failure to appear order. Okay. We can be all done for today. This court case will be closed on a failure to appear order. The Secretary of State will be notified, and we'll go forward. Okay?
Is that it?
Yeah, if that's how you want to proceed with this matter, that's fine. That's your right. You can do that.
Okay, as long as I know I got it in writing.
Sir, it will be in writing that the person named Darnell Gilliard was not in court today, and that his driving privileges will be revoked by the Secretary of State. That's what will be in writing.
That's all, and that's fine. And I know that's already done because I did it myself personally. So, and I know the person is not a real person.
All right, thank you, sir, for coming in.
All right, you have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye, have a great weekend.
All right, there you have it. There it is. My court case that has been pending since June. Okay. So as you heard, the judge closed out the case. Her recommendation is Darnell Gilliard license will be suspended. Darnell Gilliard license will be suspended. All right. Now, it was kind of strange that they go through all this stuff. You know, they are called actors. I do know that. You know, anybody that's, you know, in a political office, they are considered to be actors. So they really play their role. I know that. But the bottom line is that, you know, because of, you know, various, you know, individuals that I follow, and I want to get a shout out to them right now. Like I want to give a shout out to James C. Lovett. He don't personally know me, but I have been following him for years now. And a lot of stuff that I learned from his channel. So he's got the Bad Wolf channel. So I want to give him a shout out because he's the one that kind of, you know, gave out the information pertaining to the passport card. And so through his information, as well as other people, for instance, High Frequency Radio. I forget the gentleman's name. I think his name is Hakeem. Hakeem, I actually bought his information pertaining to, you know, how to fill out a trust. So it was his information that gave me insight on how to, you know, create a declaration of trust. Also, I want to give a shout out to his channel is called The Finest Thing Walking. Now, The Finest Thing Walking is an interesting guy. He's actually in Illinois too. And he don't post that often, but when he do come on live, he give out some fire information. And I learned how to fill out the passport information directly from his channel because he displayed it to the whole YouTube community. Not only him, but as well as Copper Moon Shine, his information is displayed on his website. I believe it's coppermoonshinesteel.org or .com, where you can go to his website and learn how to fill out the passport card or passport book and learn how to become a non-citizen national, right? And that's basically what I am, a non-citizen national, meaning that I'm not a U.S. citizen. And even the travelstate.gov will let you know based off of the laws that you can either be a U.S. citizen or a non-citizen national. So all these things I learned over a period of time, and I started putting it into action. Now, so far, I've never been arrested. I might have been inconvenienced with a traffic stop, but that didn't bother me too much. And I'm sure if you're a person that tends to follow my channel, then you've seen all the traffic stop videos that I have. But the bottom line is, I've never been arrested or taken to jail or had my car towed, as far as, taken away from me while I was traveling, right? I never had that happen to me. And even though they might have acted like they was going to take it or threatened to take it, they never took it. And I believe it is attributed to, my passport card information, as well as my, automobile, my SUV being in a irrevocable trust. So these things I've learned on my own, but if you're looking at the screen, you can see that there's a picture with the Secretary of State, the Secretary of State of Illinois. That's their emblem and everything. This is actually a letter that was sent to me by the Secretary of State when I decided to cancel the license plate registration. And I'm going to read to you the information that's on this letter, because you might not be able to clearly see it, right? So I'm going to read to you what it says, and it's very clear that everything has already been revoked. Everything is very already canceled, but it has my family trust name, which is Gilliard Family Religious Irrevocable Trust, right? And of course, I'm not displaying any addresses or anything, but it says, Dear Gilliard. Now, they don't know what Gilliard they're talking to, right? They just said, Dear Gilliard, because it's addressed to Gilliard Family Irrevocable Trust. And even though I'm the trustee of that trust, I don't own anything that's in that trust. I just control it, right? I'm sure you heard the phrase own nothing but control everything. But it says, Dear Gilliard, please be advised that the listed Illinois license plates has been revoked today per your license plate revocation request, because it is I that put that request in. And it says this letter may serve as an official notice from the Illinois Secretary of State to be submitted to any judicial or law enforcement agency verifying that the listed Illinois vehicle license plate has been revoked by the office. So all that document and many other documents has been submitted to the Cook County Circuit Court Traffic Court Division, right? So that information was already submitted. The problem is this. The problem is that when you submit, and this is not legal advice, this is just my experience that I'm telling you what I went through, right? When you enter affidavits or any type of information on the court of record, right? That is like actually in their records. And you can also send it registered mail. And when you send it registered mail, it becomes a part of their records. Now, the thing is, because they are into a psychological game if you don't learn how to stand on your square, then they can, they'll try to find a way of tripping you up, right? But the bottom line is, I understood even before I started to engage them that I sent all the information that I need to send in to make sure everything was intact and my position was covered. Now, from June, July, August, September, all the way up to November, I have sent in many, many documents to help them to understand that I'm not a part of your commercial enterprise, right? Because anytime you are a part of their commercial enterprise, then they can tax you. And so by me canceling out the contracts of the driver's license as well as the registered plates and having my automobile in a trust, that prevented them from directly engaging me physically. So it protected my body. My name, and this is, not legal advice, but I'm just giving you some information. My name, if you want to say that's my name, Darnell Gilliard, is a trustee of a revocable living trust, right? Only people that are alive, right? When you hear the word revocable, look it up. When you hear the word revocable living trust, only a person that is alive can make that trust. If you hear the word irrevocable trust, that means that the person is dead, he's passed or she's passed on. Most people use irrevocable trust for asset protection, right? For asset protection. You can go look this up. It's not hard. We are living in the information age. You can access all these things. Now, when you put your asset into an irrevocable trust that protects your personal property, which is private goods, right? Household goods. There is no court of law that would have jurisdiction over your household goods, including an automobile. Okay. Now I know I'm saying a whole lot, but all this is actual factual. You can go look up case laws about it, so on and so forth. I mean, think about it. The government is not going to come in and, confiscate your refrigerator or your stove, right? Or confiscate your food that's in your refrigerator. Why? Because that's considered to be household goods. It's the same thing with your automobile. It's considered to be household good because you're not using it in a capacity to make money. You're just using it because, first of all, you're just traveling from point A to point B. Now, you notice in the video that the judge actually said that being a driver means that it don't matter if you're doing it for money or you're just going to church or visiting your mom. Well, that's only for people that don't know, right? If you don't know about these things, then she could just tell you anything. And you notice she tried to wield her title by saying, well, I'm a judge. Well, I know for a fact that she's just an administrative officer and not a real judge. But that's the role that they want to project to the public, right? But the bottom line is that when you engage in commerce, according to Black's Law's dictionary, you are considered to be a driver. I want to display this real quick on my screen. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. And most of the time I log these information so that like I can rehearse it in my mind. I can rehearse it in my mind so that when it comes up, I can just, regurgitate it from what I learned and read and heard, right? But look at this. This is Illinois law 605-52-202. It says highway, any public way for vehicular travel. Wait a minute. Did you see that? Did you hear that? Highway, any public way. They give you the definition, right? Highway, any public way for vehicular travel, which has been laid out in pursuance of any law of this state. And it's important to look this stuff up because you'll be able to distinguish when they're talking to people that are just using it for traveling purposes versus people that's using it for commercial purposes. Now, this is for travel purposes, right? And I'm gonna prove to you that they know the difference between traveling and traffic, or what you call commerce. So I'm gonna jump down a little bit. It says shared use paths for non-vehicular public travel, sidewalks, bikes, path, and all other structures, and opportunists. I don't even know what I'm saying with that word, but let's continue. Necessary or convenient for vehicular traffic. Or convenient for vehicular traffic. So there's a difference between non-vehicular public travel and here you see the or convenient for vehicular traffic. They actually give you the distinction between vehicular travel and vehicular traffic, right? Also, if you look into the law dictionary, right? The law dictionary says, according to Black Law's Dictionary, traveling is an act of moving in any way, while driving is an act of operating a motor vehicle. Did you hear that? Let me read that again. Traveling is the act of moving in any way, while driving is the act of operating a motor vehicle. Traveling, Black's Law Dictionary defines a traveler as someone who moves in any way, regardless of distance. This includes traveling between states or even traveling locally. Watch this. Here's another. Traffic, right? Find the legal definition of traffic from Black's Law Dictionary, second edition. Commerce, trade, dealings in merchandise, bill, money, and the like. So when you go to court, they're dealing with traffic. That's why it's called traffic court division. This is dealing with in commerce, trade, dealings, merchandise, bills, money, and the like. So who's she trying to fool? Who's she trying to fool? She ain't trying to fool me because I read. Once again, driving. Black's Law Dictionary defines a driver as someone who operates a vehicle, such as a coach, carriage, or wagon. Driving is considered a commercial activity. And drivers are required to register their vehicle and obtain a driver's license. While the right to travel is a fundamental right that includes the right to move freely between states. However, driving is not considered a fundamental right. And there are laws that govern how people drive. These laws include seatbelts laws, drunk driving laws, and right-of-way laws. Now, come on now. Are you serious? You can read all this stuff for yourself. So when that judge is addressing me about suspending my driver's license, first of all, how are you going to suspend something that I personally canceled? That don't make sense to me. And second of all, if I'm not driving, then how are you going to ticket me? You can't. You can't ticket me because I'm not a driver. And then if my automobile is household goods, right? Then how or why do I need to register it to the state if it's household goods? Because I don't have to register my stove to the state. I don't have to register my refrigerator to the state. Think about this, y'all, for 1 second, if you're listening to me. We do a lot of stuff out of ignorance, and it's based off of us not being taught properly, right? Like when you get married, you don't need to marriage. You don't need to have a license from the state to get married. You could just get married by creating a document or an affidavit between you and your wife and have it notarized, and boom, you're married. But we think because they have this grand setting of we have to go all through these legal loopholes to do something that is God-given right. We have been given the rights by God to do. Like you have the right to get married. You have the right or freedom of movement. Heck, why don't they just charge us for breathing, right? Maybe we should be charged for breathing air. Have you been registered to breathe today, sir? You see how ridiculous that sounds? It's the same thing. Like when you go purchase an automobile, you do not have to register it to a state agency. No, you can register it to a trust. The trust will own your automobile. The state do not have jurisdiction over that. The certificate of title should be have the name of the trust, right? Therefore, you don't own it, but you just control the trust, right? Period. And also, if you just want to be a little bit more cautious and protecting your household goods, like my Jeep Cherokee is actually registered to the Department of Transportation and have a DOT number. But guess what, y'all? Guess what? The Department of State of Transportation actually knows the difference between a commercial driver versus a person that is just moving around. It's called a private motor vehicle. That's what they call it, a private motor vehicle, meaning that they're not operating in commerce. They will give you a free DOT number if you just want to have a number to display to authorities to let them know, hey, I'm not in commerce. I'm just doing my thing. I'm going to the store. I'm going to visit my mom. I'm getting ready to go worship God, so on and so forth, right? So these things, you have to understand this stuff before you put it into action, right? So it took a minute for me to learn it, but once I learned, I started making steps to put it into action. And so therefore, when the judge said, well, if we just happen to catch Darnell Gilliard driving, which they're not going to never catch me driving, because I'm never going to drive. I don't need to drive to make money. No, I have my own personal trade to make money, so I don't need to drive to make money. So they're going to never catch me driving. And therefore, they can't arrest Darnell Gilliard for driving. You understand what I'm saying? So once you get these definitions in your brain, right, then you'll be able to properly discern when they're speaking to you as a person that is a corporate fiction versus a living human being, right? And you will be able to stand on your square when you are stating these facts to any so-called authority operating in their official capacity, right? And the bottom line is, y'all, don't get duped by these people. If you want to drive, it's nothing wrong with that, because some people need to drive to make money. But if you don't want to drive, you don't have to. Even if the officer, like I didn't have plenty of officers in the video ask me for insurance. I'm like, I don't have insurance. Just like the judge said, do you have insurance for the automobile or the vehicle? I was like, show me a federal law that says that you have to have insurance for a automobile that is a consumer good. You know why she can't do that? Because there is no law. I'm not saying that you don't need insurance or you shouldn't have insurance, because sometimes you need something to, if you have an accident, you want to make sure that somebody else is covered, right? Like, you don't have to necessarily go through a regular insurance company to get, you can get your own insurance bond if you wanted to. The Department of Transportation shows you how to create an insurance bond to cover if there's any accidents, right? But see, these people don't want you to know that. The bottom line is, there's a lot of things out here, or a lot of information out here that you can learn if you want to technically, not be under the jurisdiction of the state. And all you have to do is just do a little research, do a little reading, and then start putting into the practice. But the bottom line is, be sure that's what you want to do, because once you do it, don't look back. Don't look back, because you might have some regrets. But if you know that you're gonna be able to make money other ways without driving, then go for it. You understand me? Okay. So I hope you get something out of this video. If you got any, advice for me, how I could have did better in engaging a judge, please leave a comment in the comment section. If you got any videos that you want to share with me that can help me out when it comes to like advancing my knowledge, please do so. And I thank you for taking the time out to watch my video, whether now or later. And please share it with somebody else. Hopefully somebody will get something out of what I said. This is Darnell Gabriel from Revolutionary Sword. I bid you shalom. Until the next time. I'm going to leave out with some music. So let's go. And I will see you once again on the next time around. Peace.